Hey, beautiful people, welcome to the very first episode of the Self Love series. Yes, it's been a while, but here we are right here. So, yeah, man, you are welcome, and we're gonna speak all things reinventing yourself, all things self love. But today, on this episode, we're focusing more on self love and what it actually is. Okay, so it's a part of my She Who Strives.
As the sun rises and sheds its wonderful bright light to the world, it is the purest reflection of the light that was placed within you, the light that was meant to shine around those around you. She Who Strives is about a powerful woman who believes in her flaws, who believes in herself, and who believes that she's not defined by her mistakes, and she's definitely not defined by her flaws. Instead, her flaws make her who she is. She believes in the Creator who has placed the power within her. She owns her power. She sees beauty in her scars, and she believes that she's powerful. The world and the people have tried to bury her, to make her feel less of herself, but little did they know that she was a seed being planted that was going to grow and become a tree that bears fruit, that has the power to nourish those coming after her. She has the power to create her own path and shed light for those behind her. Walk with me as we embrace her, as we pull your greatest power out of you and ensure that her light shines. She Who Strives.
Women or people sharing stories that inspire and that just encourage other people, and to show them that, you know what, there actually is light at the end of the tunnel, that no matter what situation or circumstance or difficulty you may face in your life, there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and you will definitely overcome and be victorious. As long as you are alive, you have an opportunity to change things at any given time. Obviously, if it's God's time, you know what I mean. So before we go any further, let's first define what self-love is. Then I'll tell you my definition. Then you are also going to share your definition. So it says, self-love is a state of appreciation for oneself that grows from action that supports our physical, psychological, and spiritual growth. Self-love means having a high regard for your own well-being and happiness. Self-love means taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others. And that's what I basically wanted to speak to you about, because I'm sure most of you are like, oh, there we go again, self-love. It's so important, and it may sound like a cliche, but sometimes maybe cliches work and maybe you're powerful for a reason. But with regards to self-love, I feel like you won't be of good service if you neglect your own needs, trying to help others while neglecting your own well-being. And I feel like the only way you will be able to love authentically and to give authentically and purely is if you have taken care of yourself internally first and maintained and you continuously nurture the internal relationship and make yourself aware of what is happening inside of you. So as it says here, that you're in constant appreciation, you're constantly appreciating yourself, and that's how it should be. We are so quick to celebrate and to appreciate the people around us, lovers, friends, family, but yourself, we always wait for other people to celebrate you, to appreciate you, but start by celebrating and appreciating yourself. But before we get to the appreciation, you first need to be aware of what is happening internally in your mind. What are you thinking about? What is going on internally? And once you are aware, you have the opportunity to decide if there's certain things you're going to change. If they are, what is it? You make yourself aware of what is happening internally, and you fix what needs to be fixed, and you just nurture that eternal relationship. With that, you will be able to love holistically, authentically, and because the love you give to yourself, it will overflow to the people around you. So appreciate yourself, because when it comes to self-love, it's literally you stepping into or embracing yourself on all the planes of consciousness, all the aspects of life, taking care of yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. And most people think self-love is just all about physically, but not necessarily. You also take care of yourself internally, and then physically it will just shine through, and then you practice the self-care. So what I really just wanted to remind you about is that before you're able to give your love or share your love with others, give it to yourself first. Appreciate yourself first. And an example that I can give you or share with you that can express, where self-love comes in is, for example, if you see that there's a particular situation that's going to pose as a threat to your happiness. For example, it could be a relationship. You can see that you are in a relationship that is intensely toxic and that is stealing more than giving from you, and you choose to stay. You choose to compromise your joy, your peace for that person. You choose to betray yourself for that particular person. That is not practicing self-love. So that's where self-love kicks in, because you will say to yourself that, no, I appreciate myself so much that I won't allow myself to go through this particular situation, because you choose the people you have around you. In terms of friends, you choose who you want around you. So don't neglect your well-being, don't neglect who you are, and don't neglect all of you. Instead, accept and embrace all of you. Embrace all of you. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me for the very first episode of the self-love series, and we're definitely going to be hopping on to part 2 and episode 2, because episode 2 is where we actually go into the house. Episode 1, this one was just all about, the basics. What is it about? We're just checking it out just to see what it's about. In episode 2 and 3, we're going to be going into detail as to how to actually apply it and what to actually do.